Hey, Scott from Good Book Explorer, coming to you today from Southwest Texas. We are in Big Bend National Park. If you look over my shoulder here, the Rio Grande is right there, and Mexico. The cliffs you see behind me are in Mexico. But we are continuing talking about the book of James. Where we left off, we were talking about let it be pure joy when you face trials and adversity, and because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Well, what I want to talk about today is where that perseverance takes us. And where that perseverance takes us is on a journey that we will be mature and complete, lacking nothing. That's what James says. Now, what does that exactly mean? We all know that Paul describes the walk of a Christian as a race, so that you are racing to complete the event and get your reward at the end. Well, James speaks of the trials that make us stronger, that make us steadfast, that give us perseverance, and that those things will make us mature and complete, lacking nothing. So James takes a little bit of a different a way of saying, I guess is the best way of putting it, of how the Christian walk would be. I think of it as James kind of states that the walk is a series of steps that we are taking, because each trial that we endure, that we live through, that we learn something from, that we're doing it with pure joy, we're learning something. Each of those takes us up another step. And what happens at the end of that staircase? Well, James says that what happens at the end is that we are mature, that we are near completion. In some versions it says perfect. Of course, we know we'll never be perfect, but that perfect translates into that completeness. So our journey as a Christian should take us somewhere, and we know where it'll eventually take us. But we should grow as we're doing our walk, our Christian walk. We shouldn't remain the same. We should become stronger Christians as we go. Paul speaks of it, and now James speaks of it too. And now the next little section of James talks about, and he actually states that if any of you lack wisdom, to ask it of God, and it will be provided to you. So what is wisdom, rather than going through experiences and learning from those, going up that staircase? And where do you get that wisdom from? From enduring those trials. If you see someone that is very wise, they understand how the world works. They've been through it. They know what's going to happen. They know what to look out for, and that's what wisdom is. And why would God not give us that if we ask that? We know that He wants us to be wise. It's almost like saying, what would happen if I asked God to love me? Well, we know the answer to that. He does love you. So that's a question that's already answered. That's a request that obviously He's going to give us. So when we ask God for wisdom, does God not want us to have that? Does God not want us to be wise? Does God not want us to take the next step up into that? Described two ways: as a race or as a staircase, as a, stepping up toward wisdom, stepping up in a closer relationship with God. Same thing. We should grow as Christians as we go through this life. As always, we're with you exploring God's Word and world. And we're down here in the bottom of Texas exploring His world. Hey, we'll see you next time. Thanks.